Bill Baldridge. I'm the Director of Teams. I know some of you know who I am. Do me a favor, get out your cell phone. This document is online, so I'm just going to flip through it, and then you can take a look at it on your phone so you know what I'm looking at. So if you go to M14hoops.com and then click on Chicagoland. So M14 Hoops, Chicagoland. And then right at the front, it'll say M14 Recruit. If you click there, there's a PDF. Everybody finding it? M14hoops.com. Click Chicagoland. And then M14 Recruit, and then there's a PDF. Okay? All right. All right, we're all good? All right. So this is for 15U girls. Just a little bit, if you don't know who I am, my name is Bill Baldridge. I've been here about 2 years. I've been doing this since the early 90s. I was a high school basketball coach. Then I was a club coach. I've coached boys and girls. I had my own club for a while. My connection to M14, when I was a high school coach, the owner here, Matt Miller, was a player. And a good friend of mine was his high school coach. So I've known Matt for a really long time. All three of my kids trained with Matt. It was just easier to send them to him instead of dad trying to tell them what to do, as you guys know as parents. So, and as I had my own club, Matt kept bugging me to come on over here just because I'm older, I have a lot of experience, especially, you know, my sole purpose here is to put people in college, and just I have a lot of relationships, I've been doing it a very long time. So about a year and a half ago, he finally got me over. It's been going really well. On Wednesday, we have signing day. We're going to have over 30 kids, you know, signed for college on Wednesday. Last year, we had over 20. I'm very proud of that. That was an immense amount of work all winter to get 30-something kids in college. And it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. So we're super excited. Like I said, I've been doing it a long time, and it never gets old. I have 3 children of my own. I have a Division I player right now, and you know, it means a lot to help other people go through that. It's I was a college athlete, and I think it holds a lot of value besides the athletic part of it. All the other stuff that I see kids grow up and gain from it, I think it's really, really cool. So today's, I'm gonna, you know, your daughters are much younger, they're 15U, so some of the stuff will pertain to you. Some of the stuff I'm gonna talk about just so you have an idea about what's coming down the pike for you, for your daughters, and then we'll go from there. I wanna talk a little bit about Twitter. We have 2 main pages for our 17U players. Going forward, our Twitter pages are going to be for 17U players. So I've talked to a lot of the college coaches, and it's easier for them to navigate if we're just putting the older kids on the main Twitter page. We're gonna have a 15U and a 16U Twitter page, and we value that as well, but everything that I do and we do as a club is to help the girls as much as possible. So we talk to the college coaches. So your daughter plays in a 15U event, and somebody, a writer, a Prep Hoops, promotes them. We will put it on the main page. But every little small thing, we're not going to inundate with the main Twitter page because they're just not old enough, and the college coaches don't want to see that, okay? So, and you'll get some emails and stuff like that. I just want everybody to know, okay? So that's how that's going to work. All right, so this is a long packet. Some of the stuff is just informational. If you want to read about it tonight when you have nothing to do, knock yourself out. First thing I want to talk about is Twitter. I'm going to talk about every girl should have their own Twitter account and what that looks like. I have 2 examples in here. I use my own daughter who no longer plays and another person, and I've just given some good examples. So your daughter should have a picture of her playing so she can see her. We can see her in the picture. I've had 17U boys with a meme or a picture of Snoopy. That's making it really hard for me to contact a college coach and say, go watch Johnny. Well, I don't know what Johnny looks like. He looks like Snoopy. Okay, we don't want that on the Twitter page. So please have it something, semi-professional than them playing. Put their high school number, club team, club name, a club number. Put a GPA if it's 3 or above. If it's a 1.8, I have work to do. Don't put that on there, okay? Don't put the GPA on there, all right? Your daughters are younger. If they played varsity this year, you could upload like a 2-minute highlight video where there's a link. It's 2 minutes, it's just highlights. It doesn't have to be 5 minutes. We don't need any rap music. We don't need any Metallica. The college coaches don't care anything about that, okay? So just 2 minutes, get to the point if they played varsity, okay? This year, we would prefer, it helps me if you guys, we have Baller TV, you guys have Huddle with your high school teams, but if you go out and film and you have a nice highlight film, that'll make my job easier. We do not, film all the girls individually. It's just way too many players. So that helps me when I want to send out video and things of that nature as they go along in the recruiting process, okay? Put one of the icons that they can use is for direct message. It looks like an envelope. I want them to have that on there for college coaches so they can notify them, hey, Betty, what time's your game tomorrow? A college coach might reach out to that. Where are you guys going next week? We want the access to be clear, concise, and easy for the college coaches. Does that make sense? We don't want it muddled. We don't want to make it harder for them. That does not help us at all. Okay, every decision I make as a club and what we're trying to do is the feedback directly from the college coaches. I'm not making it up as we go. And like I said, I've had a long history of doing this, and I'm very happy about it. And use a Twitter handle that's reasonable. I know there's a lot of names that have gone by the wayside, but if you can just use your daughter's name or last name or both names, whatever, we don't need big shooter from so-and-so. We don't need any of that, okay? Colleges don't want that, okay? All right, so there's 2 examples of Twitter on there. All right, so playing college athletics. We have Division I, we have Division II, we have Division III, we have NAIA, and we also have JUCO. Is everybody on the document? You guys get to the, so go to M14 Hoops. They're all looking at their phones. I saw you looking like, why is everybody looking at their phones? It's fine. So this PDF is on the website. So M14hoops.com, click on Chicagoland, and then click on M14 Recruit, and there's a PDF there. So, everyone knows the University of Illinois. It's Division I, they play in the Big Ten, that's easy. Over the next few sheets, I put down what is a local NAI school? What is a Division II? Division II is like a Lewis or a Quincy or a McKendree. Some parents don't know that. I'm trying to be as informative as possible, okay? Scholarship-wise, Division I has, and this is all in the packet, 13 scholarships. Division II has 10. NAIA has about 8. And then Division III doesn't have athletic money, but it has academic money. And we're going to get into that and how they get around that, okay? So that's what we're looking at. So you said to yourself, D2, 10 scholarships, they've got to have more than 10 players. They do. So they do percentage based. So they might give you 20%, you 50%, and there's a rhyme or reason of why they're doing it. They might, this person, we're only going to give 20% because they're going to get a lot of academic money because they're a 4.0. You don't have as good grades, so we got to give you more, blah, blah, blah. So that's how that works. And you guys are 15U, so most of this is not, some of it's not going to pertain to you as far as that stuff, but I just want everybody to be as informed as possible, okay? Like I said, I put a bunch of colleges on there. NAIA is like Judson, Olivet Nazarene, St. Xavier. And some of the schools change. There's about 350, 360 Division I schools. Some schools apply to be, Division I eligible. Some schools are dropping down. So when you're talking to your daughter about college, and I know they're 15U, I've got 2 daughters. I understand what it was like to talk to them at 15U about in the future. I get it. So when they get 17U, some of the things that we're trying to put in their head is, hey, if you want to play college basketball, Would you like to play on the West Coast? Do you want to play on the East Coast? Do you want to play in the Midwest? I want to stay in Illinois so I can see mom on Sunday and get her lasagna. You know, whatever the case may be, some of those conversations down the road you need to have to talk with your daughter. You're going to have like, what's your major, stuff like that. But they want a big school, a small school, it's a hot weather, whatever the case may be. So those are some of the conversations that you start to have with your daughters. It'll change over time, but at least it gets them to think about, hey, what am I looking at, okay? I also talked about, we're always here at M-XIV, and I did this at my old club. We are always going to be honest with you. There is a lot of clubs that are going to sell you a bill of goods, and I will not at any point do that. If I feel your daughter's not good enough to go to Duke, I'm going to tell you that she's not good enough at Duke, okay? Now, they're 15U, development, blah, blah, blah. You know, they have a long way to go. But we are always honest and upfront with you. I'm a parent of 3. My daughter plays Division I soccer, and my club coach I was like, hey, I do this for a living like you do. I need you to be honest where she falls. I don't need any, false blah, blah, blah. The great thing is they're only 15U, and they have a lot of, there's so many opportunities for ladies, and there's a lot of growing that they're going to do if they continue to work. But I wanted to make sure that, a lot of clubs a lot of stuff that you see on Twitter, and I'm going to get into Twitter a little bit later, it's just complete BS and made up, and we're just not going to do that. It infuriates the college coaches. We lose credibility, and I'm just not going to do that. Now, I know more on the boys' side than the girls. It infuriates, the kids, and they're like, I just played against that girl and she got this offer, and I've called college coaches and said, hey, did you offer that girl? I thought you were talking to our girl. And they're like, we didn't offer her at all, okay? So we're just not going to do that. So I just want to make sure we all know that, okay? All right. I put in here stuff that you don't have to read, but just a little breakdown about how many players play Division I, how many play Division III, just a little bit of background, how many sports and things of that nature. It's good information. If your daughter's able to play at any college, that means she's really good, because that number is very small. And don't take it lightly, even if it's a Division III coach calling your daughter, because they could call a lot of people. That's how they make a living. That's how they pay their bills. That's how they pay their mortgage, and it's a big deal, okay? So please don't take that lightly. Time management. Make sure, they're only 15U, and I know they're playing high school basketball, and that's a big commitment. College basketball is an enormous commitment. Like I said, my daughter's a Division I athlete at the soccer arena when she was at Louisville. From 7 a.m. to 2:30, she was at the soccer every day. That's how she started her day. Could not take a class until 2:30 in the afternoon. That is an immense amount of work. I don't say that to scare you. I'm just trying to be honest so you know when you're talking to your daughters, like, it's a lot of work, okay? So, like I said, trying to be fully transparent and trying to be upfront and honest. But even though she had to do that every day, she absolutely loves it. She can't get enough of it, okay? All right, so yep, and there's time management here. All right, so like I said, Division I has 13 scholarships, II has 10 scholarships, Division III has 0 scholarships, but all kinds of academic money, and NAIA has about 8. NAIA is probably equal to Division II. Like the level of play is probably a little bit above Division III. So to get one of those scholarships or to get some of that money, what does your daughter have to do academically to be eligible for that? Now, with all of the COVID and all of that, the whole standardized testing thing has been in flux all the time. This past January, NCAA came out and said that the kids will not have to take the ACT, SAT to be eligible for a college scholarship. So I think that's good. It's one less stressor. That doesn't mean that it's not going to change in the future, and it doesn't mean that some universities could still ask for a test score. I have 2 in college right now. Most schools, about 2/3, are not asking for a test score, and that's across the gamut. I mean, Ivy League schools, some of them are not asking for a test score, okay? So I think that helps. So then, okay, so there's no test score. What are they going to look at? Obviously, they're going to look at the kids' grades. Now, in here, I put down what the requirement is. There's 16 core courses and you don't have to write any of this down, it's in here, they are going to have to pass with a 2.3 cumulative GPA. Now, the bigger issue is, and most of you are at big public schools in the western suburbs, so we're okay as far as all of these classes that they take have to be NCAA approved. So if you were to get on your school's website and you looked at the program of studies, it will actually identify every class and it'll say what is NCAA approved. Okay? If your daughter goes to a good high school, most of them are going to be. I'll give you an example where they're not. Your daughter's a senior, she's tired of English, she says, Dad, I want to take an elective, it's called Chicago Lit from 1940 to 1960. That class may not be NCAA approved. Does that make sense? Now, if I was you, I would tell my daughter over the next whatever, few months, to go into the counselors, talk to them, let them know I want to play college basketball, and I need to make sure that my classes going forward are NCAA approved. Your daughters should have some skin in the game. They should know what the expectation is and have them involved in their recruiting process. Because when they're 17U, I will be sitting with them asking them all kinds of questions, and they're going to have answers, okay? And I think it's just a good learning tool for young people. So, now, all of these classes, you know, 4 in English, 3 in math, and blah, social sciences, all this stuff. You know, I ask the kids at 17U, because we write up bios and we do a lot of stuff for them, what's your GPA? And they go, 3.8. And I go, okay, 3.8 in what? So you got an A in underwater basket weaving, you got an A in lunch. They don't care about that. That's not one of the 16 core courses. Make sense? So it's, the GPA is, the 2.3 is only about these classes. So some of those electives that they did really well, the NCAA doesn't care about that, okay? If you go to a Division III school that's really hard to get into academically, they do things called a pre-read, where I send out, you know, they'll look at their academics and they get to it real quick about, hey, is she in the ballpark academically to get, you know, some of our money, that kind of thing. So that's how that works. And I'll talk more about Division III, because Division III is different from school to school, okay? But those 16 core courses you got to have. Division II is a little bit less. I put that in there, and then it describes what a core course is. It's everything that I just said. But you can always, it'll be on the website for a long time, so if you need it, you have any questions, you can always refer back, okay? All right, so when are the coaches coming out? Your daughters are 15U, so you have a long way to go. You are not behind anything. You have plenty of time. It's not a big deal. Does anybody know, I'm going to go over live periods. Does anybody have any idea what a live period is? Okay? All right, some of us. Live period means we play in tournaments all the time. And then this weekend it says this tournament is a live period. That means that Division I coaches can come on the sidelines and watch your daughter play. So, obviously that's a big deal. If you're a daughter of a 17U and you're like, hey coach, I don't think she's Division I. So what do I care about the live period? Here's why you care about the live period. During those events, every coach is coming out during those events. Partly because they're recruiting, secondly because they are networking with other coaches, they can bump other coaches, they can see everybody, they know that every club is going to play during those events. So my point is, even if 3 years from now you don't think you have a daughter that's Division I, it doesn't matter. It's a good event. That's why we're playing in it. We're very calculated with all of our schedules and where we play, why we play. We're trying to maximize the exposure for all the kids, okay? So just to let you know why that is. Now, for the very first time this year, usually the live events were only with your club. Different on the boys' side. They had 2 events during the month of June with their high schools. This year, you will get an event in June with your high schools. Completely different, okay? Now, they are incorporating that. So now everyone's like, okay, I like my high school. I like my high school coach. Other people are like, I don't really like my high school, or I don't like my high school coach. So there's a lot of things that go into that, okay? Now, on the boys' side, there's 2 giant events that hold about 120 teams. So as of right now, they're not sure about who's going to have these events, and you're thinking, okay, does my high school coach know anybody? Is he interested in entering our team into those events, and will it benefit our daughter? It doesn't kill your daughter if she doesn't play in that event, but it can only help. Does that make sense? So, I was just talking to some of the boys, and they voiced some concerns, saying, well, I don't know, my high school is not in those events. It's not going to kill your kid, but the point is, that would be something that just another avenue to get some exposure, okay? And, in high school basketball and club basketball are a lot different. I was a high school coach for a very long time. A lot of my good friends are high school coaches, and, my joke is that high school coaches are trying to win. My job is really, it is and it isn't, and I'll explain that, but their number one goal on the varsity level is to win. It's also to make sure your daughters are held accountable, make them strong, young, independent women. I think most of them are really desperately trying to do that. But at the end, winning games is, everybody doesn't play and that kind of thing. My goal here is what's happening on Wednesday. My single biggest factor in how I'm graded is how many girls I put in college. So if we go undefeated with every team and your daughter doesn't get what she deserves or she doesn't get better, then it doesn't matter. Does that make sense? I'd rather lose a game, put your daughter in and play in front of a college that's recruiting her or thinking about recruiting her, and it be successful and we lose the game. Nobody's going to remember the wins and losses, okay? Now, we have an enormous Adidas contract, and I coach the top girls team. Now, there is pressure there to win because that's how we keep our scholarship. So of all the coaches in the building, I've got to win, okay? And we do win. We do very well. We have the players. It's not a big deal. But my point is, club and high school are a little bit different, but you will get an event this June with your high schools, and I don't think they know what that's going to look like yet, but on the boys' side, it's very successful. And you get 5 evaluation periods, 4 with us, 1 with the high school. There's 1 in April, 1 in May, and 2 in July, okay? I also put down the recruiting calendar right off the NCAA website, and they have all these labels: dead period, live period, recruiting period. You don't have to pay any attention to any of that. I put terms like a glossary in there for you if you'd really like to get in the weeds, but it means nothing, okay? Biggest thing for you guys to know is probably, because I'll be doing everything for you, is a college coach can call your daughter directly between sophomore and junior year, okay? They can start calling. So, and that's a big deal. Don't worry about coaching your daughter. These guys and these coaches are used to talking to 15, 16, 17-year-old kids all the time. And, they're going to, what's your favorite subject? What'd you have for lunch? They're not asking them to break down the atom bomb, okay? They're just trying to get to know them a little bit, okay? That's really it. And that is September 1st of junior year. They can call them directly. And that's a really cool thing. If any coach calls your daughter, it's awesome. You know what I mean? It makes them feel special, and it is a big moment, and like my daughter, when she was a soccer player, Notre Dame called, and we're like, Notre Dame's on the phone, and then everybody in the house is like, oh, wait a minute, that kind of stuff. So it's just cool. It's really cool, So all good stuff. All right, so let me go through here now. Another thing, I put in a thing, it's labeled High School Timeline. There is a website called Eligibility Center. That's put on by the NCAA. It used to be called Clearinghouse. The NCAA keeps me on my toes, changing everything. That is a player profile for colleges to look at. You guys, it won't cost you anything. You can open up a profile there. You should do that. It's called Eligibility Center. It's all in here. So if you, like I said, don't have to write it down. You go in there. It's for free. What's going to happen is after sophomore year, you're going to ask your college counselor to upload your transcript into that, and they start to access that, the colleges. They're looking at your grades. I think there's some videos they have to watch, and there's a lot of questions about amateurism. Have you ever been paid to play? They ask a million things. It goes on and on and on. But that will be used. So it's called Eligibility Center, and you're 15U, so you're all good. It just kind of gives you a little bit of a roadmap of what to expect. At the end of this, I'm going to give you my cell phone number. If you need anything at any point in time, don't understand anything, you can always text me all the time. Give me 24 hours. I'd be happy to get in front of you, okay? Some of the things that I do for our players, mainly for our older players, okay? And I put a list here. This is all in there. 15U recommendation, 16U, and 17. I talked a lot about these already. I talked about, you know, the eligibility center, highlight video, Twitter account. You know, I talked about these already. So I just wanted to let you know they change a little bit more. They change a little bit more, okay? When teams are going out to play at 17U, I am in constant contact with coaches. So you play the Midwest, this area, I'm hitting them all the time. But let's say your team goes to South Carolina. I'm going to let all the coaches in those states know what time we're playing, what we're coming, all that. So this is all at 17U, not at 15U. Okay? Now girls are a little bit different because they start to recruit a little bit earlier. So, you know, I'll have constant coaches, hey, can you give me your 15U roster? Hey, can you give me that? So I'm constantly, you know, promoting always, because you're always recruiting and you're always selling your players. So, but those are some of the things where I have a list every year that's updated where I get an Excel sheet with every college coach, and for you girls, of JUCO, NAI, Division I, II, and III. I have everyone. I have every assistant. I have everyone. So I inundate them with information. And there's a couple things, you know, we play in the Adidas. Helps us that we're a really big club. They know we have a lot of players. And a lot of colleges just recruit clubs. We have a great reputation of, for the most part, we play very team-oriented basketball. We have, for the most part, really good students. So, you know, we have girls on Wednesday that are going to Johns Hopkins and Carnegie Mellon and Rochester and WashU and all this stuff. So, and some of those girls were offered Division I scholarships, and I told them not to take it. I told them their parents could do it academically, financially. You need to go here, okay? So then you can buy me dinner in 4 years, is my joke, okay? But my point is, I'm the point person, and believe me, the college coaches are getting inundated with information that I'm always selling, okay? Always.
Question.
Yes?
You said do the varsity videos. What about club videos? Put those.
So club video, so the question was on a video on the Twitter, if they didn't play varsity, you could always put a small club video, 2 minutes, like no rap video and or whatever, Metallica. It's always a joke. I mean, it's just, you know, I mean, I have kids like, Coach, look what I made. I go, oh my God, no, don't make that, okay? You know, colleges just want to see you play. So yes, absolutely, on there, okay? Everything we do, I'm constantly getting feedback from coaches about what's the easiest way for you to get at these players, besides me just contacting you. You know, they use certain publications. You got to remember, they only have a certain amount of time and their budget is only a certain amount of money. You know, a lot of them use Prep Hoops. That's bigger on the boys' side, but the girls is gaining a lot of steam. The head writers, I know very well. The guy who owns Prep Hoops, I know very well. You know, I talk to them all the time. It's another way to promote us, okay? Another way to promote us. You get an invite to an elite camp. An elite camp usually is a school that's inviting players on campus to do a 1-day or 2-day event, and it's usually a smaller number, 50 or 60 kids. You don't want to go to an elite camp and there's 200 kids. That's too many kids. So that is something that holds value. Exposure events like Prep Hoops, they do hold value because of the reason I'm saying is, you know, I think for Prep Hoops, the senior class is ranked. I think the boys, they do 250. The girls, might do 200 or whatever the number is. They're going to look at that list because they only have a certain amount of time in the day. So are the rankings the end all be all? No, but but they matter. Now it doesn't matter. You know, I've had players on the boys' side like, Coach, I'm 38. I should be number 35. Okay, we're not having that argument. Okay, nobody cares about that. Okay, but it is something that we can use. Okay, and we have great relationships with that. Okay, so those are all kinds of things that I'm doing throughout the year. And it just gets more calculated. It gets more intense as they get closer to 17U. And it has worked for me for the last 30 years. And, you know, but I'm always looking to tweak it. But everything's from the feedback from the coaches. I'm not going to do anything unless the coaches tell me to do it. Okay? Yes.
In relation to the elite camps or ID camps or whatever they're called, how do we identify which ones might be just pure money grab?
So you can contact me and say, hey, we got this one. I mean, usually it says, Dear Emma. If it just says Dear Player, then it's going to everybody. Last week I had a 17U player mom hit me up about something that one of the schools was putting on. And I was like, that went out to like 8,000 girls. She was literally like, well, it's in April. I'm thinking about missing my tournament or whatever. I'm like, no. Because it went out to everybody. But if you're unsure, I think you could read it, get a little bit better if it's personal. And if you're totally unsure, just text me, screenshot it, and say, hey, Bill, what do you think? And if I really don't know, I'll try to call the coach and say, hey, are you even remotely, do you even know who this kid is? That kind of stuff. And they're usually pretty honest, you know what I mean? Because we don't want you spend good money to be here. We don't want you wasting money on things that you don't have to do. And there is so much. I know you guys are inundated with a new exposure camp every week. I'm ready to get out of this and just do that. It's just crazy how much stuff there is. And it's hard to navigate as a parent. I went through it, like I said, with soccer, and I never knew what was worth it or what wasn't, So I used my daughter's club coach. All right, I'm going to talk about the transfer portal. You're 15U, it doesn't really matter. There are a few things about the transfer portal you should know. Transfer portal is what the transfer portal is for you guys that don't know. You're in college, you're a player, you don't like where you're at, and you want to transfer. So they put you go to administration, I want to go in the transfer portal. They put you in a transfer portal, and all the college coaches at every level can look at you and look at your bio on this website. We personally couldn't look at it, but college coaches can look at it, okay? Now, I'll give you, I'm a University of Iowa player. I'm a freshman. They told me I was going to play. I've been playing 5 minutes. I don't like the coach. I want out of here. I want to go somewhere else. Research shows that most players, for the most part, when they transfer, they don't play as many minutes as they did at the previous school. So the grass is not always greener. When I was a college player, if you wanted to transfer, that was a huge deal, and you had to sit out a year. Now, I can transfer and play immediately. I think within the next 5 years, kids will be able to transfer year to year to year with no, like you can't do it more than 5 times or whatever. They'll be able to, the player empowerment and all that, and they're saying college coaches, they can go from year to year. Why can't the players? So as a college coach, that is extremely hard to navigate, okay? Now, the reason I bring up the portal, quick story, my daughter went into the portal after freshman year. She went in very late. She's a soccer player. She went into the portal like the first week of June. They start practice like August 1st. So she went in late. She was at a school playing all the time, starting as a freshman, did not like it. So I'm like, okay, now with 6 weeks, 8 weeks to go, you want to go in the portal. This is not a good time. So I called her club coach and I said, what do you think? Should I make her go back? Like, what? This is a lot of money. And she said, no, I think she'll be fine. So you literally, administration for the school, put you in the portal. And you literally, she texted me, I'm in. I'm like, okay. And I wait like an hour. And I go, has anybody texted you? Has anybody emailed you? Nope. Another hour goes by. Anybody contacted you? Nope. It went on for like 5 hours. And then eventually, they started to call her and email her. So now she was at a Power 5 school, so it was that helped. So eventually she gets like 50 offers and it works out. She's at a smaller school, still at Division I, and she loves it. And the reason I bring this up is it's all about the fit. She's on a bus now. She's not on a private plane where she was before, but she's much happier where she is. So the highest level does not mean that's right for your daughter. Like I said, those girls on Wednesday, a lot of them, I told them not to take the Division I offer because I thought the academics and the environment would be better for their daughter. Okay? So just please remember that over the next few years, and you see other people getting this, and just worry about your daughter. We will get what she needs. If she works hard and she wants to play, I will do everything that I humanly can to help her find the right fit. Okay? All right, so that's the transfer portal. So our event in April may not be as well attended in April. Here's why. The portal goes live on Monday. Selection Sunday is tomorrow, and on Monday, boys and girls basketball in college, the portal opens for 60 days. So count out 60 days. That first weekend that we have a live period, the coaches never stop recruiting. So they're going to watch on Baller TV, blah, blah, they have this. But in attendance may be light because they've got assistants babysitting people on campus, whining and dining, transfer portal kids. So they're not taking less kids, it's just the whole recruiting cycle is moving down the calendar a little bit, if that makes sense. Okay? So you go to that first live event and you're like, well, Bill told me there's going to be 8,000 people here, and there's not a lot. That's why. Okay? Everything we do is very calculated, so just understand that. And your girls are 15U. Your biggest concern is, are you at the right club, which I think you are, because at the end of the 17U, that's what matters. It doesn't matter now. She could be the best player at 15U. She needs to be the best player she can at 17U. And she just needs to worry about getting better. Just get better every day, get better and better, and good things will work. Okay? All right, so that's my spiel on the lovely transfer portal. It's crazy. Okay? All right. I want to talk about just that recruiting cycle. This is my last thing before I give you my number. The Division I, every player that's Division I, usually they are getting notified earlier. They're on the radar. Usually it's a physical thing. They're bigger, they're stronger, faster. Guys, basketball is a big, strong, you guys know that, a sport, right? We're not doing bowling, not doing golf, but even some of those sports you got to be big, strong, and fast. So you have to remember that when you're thinking of realistic things for your son or daughter, right? The good way to do that is, like when my youngest that just played was a 5'9" point guard. Pretty long and athletic for point guard, 5'9". So you want to know, and your daughters are 15U, I'm talking about in the future. You want to know where she stands. Go on some of the websites for women's athletics. Go to a University of Iowa. Look for a 5'9" point guard. What were their accolades in high school? Does that mesh a little bit? Does that make sense? Okay, then look at a mid-major, look at low D1, look at a D2. That'll give you a better barometer of where your daughter is. Your daughter's 15U, doesn't matter right now, okay? But my point is just down the road, because I'll be bringing that up, because the college coaches dictate about how good your daughter is. I don't, you know that. That's the way they pay their bills, and they're trying to do that. I'm just going to be transparent as humanly possible with you. So, but that is a big thing. Last thing, the Twitter. Like I was talking earlier, Twitter is like every other walk of life. The joke around here is drink responsibly when it comes to Twitter. Okay? There is a lot of nonsense on there, and we're just in a cesspool over here in Illinois. And we have girls that get offers sometimes, and the coaches will say, hey, we don't want you to publicize the offer. Some schools don't like that. I've had parents, I have a friend that I used to train, her daughter's at the University of Wisconsin, I'm not going to name a name, and they didn't put one offer the entire time on Twitter. They thought it was disrespectful to the coaches. So you don't truly know what's going on. The only thing that matters is we're getting the right fit for your daughter, okay? So that's what I want everybody to kind of understand, okay? Let me give you did I give you my cell phone number? No? Okay, let me give it to you. It's Coach Bill at M-XIV. The last name's Baldridge. I'm on the website. I look a little better today. I've lost a little weight. So, you know what I mean? I'm selling it today, and I'm wearing black. So as soon as Matt said he's filming me, I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. So it's Coach Bill. My cell phone number is 630-290-4715. So elite camps, recruiting, anything you got, don't text me for a uniform question, hotel, I'm not your guy, okay? But anything basketball related for your daughter, I would be happy to get back to you within 24 hours, hopefully, unless I'm on the road coaching, but I will get back to you, okay? And it could be a small question, it could be a big question. That's why I'm here. I'm here because of Wednesday night. There's 30-something kids out here. That's all that matters, okay? Any questions? Yes. Yes, absolutely. So it's 630-290-4715. Okay? Yes, sir.
You were saying Division I, you know, Illinois, you know, Georgia, stuff like that. Division II, UIndy, stuff like that. Is there a 1AA in basketball like there is in football?
No, it's just all one, all Division I.
Illinois State would be a 1A?
Yep, it'd be one, just Division I. Good question. So the question is about, in football, there's like Division I and 1A. That's not the case. Girls basketball and boys basketball, it's just Division I, and that's it. There's no 1A or 1-2A, okay? Yeah, so I think, like you said, Illinois State, I think, is a 1A football school. So, yes?
I have a couple questions.
Yep,
First one,
you can only ask one.
okay, I will save one.
Only because you're married to him. I'm kidding, I'm kidding. What can I do for you?
The first question is about GPA, right?
Yep.
My assumption is when we update Twitter account GPA score, that will be accumulated, weighted, all subjects.
You could put the weighted. You could put the weighted. Yeah.
Weighted.
Yeah. It's if it's a 4.8 or 5.2, you could put it on there.
Does it need to match what you mentioned, 16 core courses? Do we need to update just only the core courses GPA or just
No, put the total GPA on there. Put the total GPA. Okay, but if someone has a good GPA, they're going to have the 2.3 for the core courses. So yeah, but we're trying to sell them like, hey, that'll open up. Listen, the kids don't believe me ever. The girls do a little bit, but the boys just don't believe me. And I was a player. Like, the grades do matter. Like, when these college coaches call me, most of the kids think that, hey, do you have anybody that scores 25 points a game? Nobody ever asks that. Okay? They want to know what type of kid your daughter is. How many positions can they guard? And the reason they ask it is because they switch everything. A lot of schools are starting to switch everything. We switch everything. The reason we switch everything, because it makes your daughter look better and it shows more for college. Everything is about getting them to college, okay? So those kinds of things. But yeah, GPA, yeah, put her, if it's a 5.2, put it on there. They'll get the message real quick but grades they really do matter. Okay?
And my second question is, given what you said, that there will be a lot of commitment, a lot of time spent training in the college level, would you consider that some of the majors the children shouldn't try to go for, like highly academically demanding majors?
Yeah. No, I think, yeah, I mean, I just wanted to let you know how demanding it is. But I think, like, my daughter was doing it and she loved it. You know what I mean? If your girls love basketball and they love to compete, and they like it, that group atmosphere, it's absolutely fantastic. You know what I mean? The research shows for a high school student, the busier they are, the better they do. Their grades are higher. It's like some people are like, when I was a high school coach, mom would call and say, his grades are awful, I'm going to pull him off the basketball team. I said, okay, if you pull him off the basketball team, are you going to sit with him every night at the dining room table? Well, I don't know if I'm going to do that. Okay. He's around good kids for the most part at the basketball team. They're doing positive things. Let's get at his grades in a different way instead of extracting him from the basketball team. Does that make sense? Because he's around people doing positive things. I mean, your kids are busy. The busier they are, within reason, obviously, most of the time the research shows that they do better.
And on that point, most of these schools have lots of resources to help these kids academically because they got to...
Yes, yeah. So like good point. So when my daughter was, at her Power 5 school, she had her own advisor just for her. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of resources there. They're not just throwing them out to the wind. You know what I mean? They're doing, you're doing all the study hours, and there's certain things in place. So there's a lot of benefits to that too. So if you have a student that maybe is not as strong, that whole discipline through college might get them through college. You know what I mean?
So there's no such thing like you want to play D1 and so you better not to do pre-med track because that will be too demanding for
Okay,
you.
so every school's, so the question was, what if my daughter wants to take something in college that's very rigorous, like pre-med? My daughter's pre-med. She wants to be a dermatologist. Every school is going to view that differently, and every coach. I had a kid I coached played at Illinois. He wanted to be, he wanted to do, God, I'm trying to remember what he wanted to do something strenuous. And they're like, you're going to major in communications. So I just, sorry. That's not, now this is years ago, so I'm not calling out Brand Underwood, who I know. But they said, nah, you're not going to do that, right? So there are certain things that, yes, some schools are going to be on board with you majoring in pre-med, and other schools are going to be like, nope, you're not doing that. But that's on a case-by-case basis. But really good question, okay? Anything else? All right. Guys, just please use me as a resource. You need something, if it's something small, let me know. I'll be happy to get back to you. Okay? And we're going to have anybody coming out Wednesday night. It should be fun. If your daughters have practice Wednesday night, they'll get to see it all, which I think is really important. They get to see all the hard work, because these girls have worked really hard. So I'm super excited. All right? Thank you for coming out. I appreciate it. All right. Yep.
All the girls going to be from anybody that accepted this last year, or are they all new?
No, everybody that 2023. Anybody that committed 2023.
Okay.
Yeah. All the seniors. Okay.
Awesome.
You got it. All right. Bye, guys. See ya.
So I'm assuming that you're talking